I was on my morning walk this morning, or well, I still am. This is Cameron, by the way. And I was looking at this point of considering what is separation, because I was listening to Your Wish is Your Command this morning on my walk. And this, I think it was on CD 10 or 9 or 10, 9 and 10. And Kevin says, do you like what you have in your life? Do you like the way it's going? And he says, because you created it. And he said, you created it with your thinking. And I was looking at this point because when you look around at the world, look at your relationships with other people, look at the relationships between other people that you observe in your life, and we see so much obvious separation. I mean, separation in terms of different cultures, races, skin colors, belief systems. I work with families and I see separation between the parents and the children. They're not really together as one. They're like separate. They don't really connect completely. And I'm sure you see this everywhere. And I mean, in your own life and in your own experience. And I was looking further at that point of separation because what's the real root of it? We tend to look for some outside authority that's going to fix this for us. Like if we could only get the right people in government, or we could only get the right teachers in the schools, or this or that. Hi, good morning. Then we'd be able to solve that issue, the issue of separation and disconnection. But the fact is, that's not actually the solution. That'll be part of the solution, but the main issue is that we don't address that point of separation within ourselves. And if we don't, then it's not going to change in the outside world. When Kevin said in that audio, he said, you've created everything in your experience up until this point. You've created it. You've created it with your thinking. And it just really hit me, that point of the separation that we have towards our own experience as individuals. We actually believe that the outside world creates the experience for us, and we are a victim, or we're subject to it. In Zen and in NeoThink, we refer to that as mysticism. We believe that outside influences actually control our lives. And to the degree that we've manifested the world around us, that seems very true, that the outside world controls us. But that's because we haven't taken responsibility for how we've participated in our lives. Look at your experience. Look at your life up to this point. And look at the points where you feel bad, where you feel negative. And I mean, when you're feeling negative, there's no way you're going to be operating at your full potential. It's just not possible. I mean, just think about it. If you want to do something and you're feeling bad, you're feeling down, are you going to be fully engaged? Imagine an actor on a play, on stage. Imagine them trying to act and perform in the best manner possible, and they feeling bad. Are they feeling negative? Or they're worrying? They're not going to perform at their best. So when you're looking at your own life, your own experience on a daily basis, just look at the points of, where am I feeling bad? And when I'm feeling bad, what is the cause of that? Is it because my bills are due and I don't have the money to pay for it? Is it because, I don't have, my partner is yelling at me, or my kids aren't doing what I'm telling them? Or is it because my teacher is being, well, I don't want to say that word, but, they're not the best teacher in the world? Or is it because the politicians and the government? Or is it because of the economy? And consider that everything we all experience in our lives, we are creating through our thinking process, through what we believe, what we accept. And a lot of these assumptions and these things that we accept are at an unconscious level. We're not even aware of them. How do you become aware of them? Is you start questioning the thoughts that you have, the things that you take for granted. For example, when you feel bad and you start to blame something outside of yourself, look at that point and say, why am I blaming that? How am I responsible for this point? How have I participated in it? How in my interactions with other people, in the decisions that I've made, in the way I've allowed myself to feel and think my entire life, how have I created that situation for myself? How have I contributed to creating that situation in the world around me? How is the world that I see in front of me a reflection of my thinking process? Your thinking process influences your behavior, and then your behavior, look at it at a very subtle level. At a very subtle level, our thoughts and our actions are actually vibrations. Everything. If you study science in school, that you learn everything is based on an energy vibration, a frequency. And when you think, when you act, when you speak, you're vibrating the world around you. You're causing things to vibrate, kind of like ripples in a pond. And imagine everyone's doing that at all times. And if those vibrations, those thoughts, those feelings, those behaviors are not in line with what you actually want to create, if they're in fact in line with what you don't want to create, because that's what you're thinking about, that's what you're feeling, that's what you're focused on in your behavior, then what is it going to create more of? It's going to create more of that thing that you don't want. How can you create what you want if you're not focused on what you want? How can you paint a beautiful painting if the whole time you're not focused on that image of that beautiful painting that you want to create? Think about it. It's actually very simple, and yet it's not easy, because we've through our own acceptance and allowance, whether aware or unaware, we have developed patterns of thinking and patterns of behavior over time since we were little. And many of these done from the belief that the people who we are emulating know what they're doing, when in fact they don't. Nobody in this world knows what the hell they're doing. There may be a few, but even them, like us, we don't really know. We're attempting to find out and to change. But at the end of the day, we're all in this together. No one is better than another person. Somebody may have walked a little bit further down the road in terms of taking responsibility for their lives, but they haven't got it all figured out. So we have to really learn to trust ourselves. If we look to somebody else and we try to copy somebody else, that's not going to work, because that's not taking responsibility. That's actually putting the responsibility outside of yourself on someone else. But at the end of the day, why do you trust that person? How do you know what they're doing is correct? And I'm not saying that every person you look at, they're doing the wrong thing. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you are making that choice, that that behavior is something you should emulate, or that thinking process, or that belief system is something you should emulate. You are actually putting the value on that. That's why if you're born in an Arab country, you're probably 99% likely to be Muslim. If you're born in a Western country like France or America or something, or England, you're probably 99% likely to be a Christian. Why? Because that's the influences, that's the patterns that you see around you. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for accepting that pattern. When you're a child, you're probably kind of naive and you don't know any better. But as an adult, you can't make that excuse anymore. Unfortunately, children are very naive and they don't know what's best for them. They just look around and then they accept. And only through experience do they find out that those things that they accepted are not best for them. And the more we suppress and deny that, the less we're honest with ourselves, the less we'll actually take responsibility and realize that those things we accepted as children are not actually best for ourselves. But for those of us that do, it's going to be a process. There's tools to support you in that process. Desteni is one of the most important tools in that process to take responsibility for your life, to become self-honest, and to learn how to let go of those old patterns and change those patterns of behavior and thinking, so that you're actually living in a way and expressing yourself in a way that's best for yourself and others. GEN is an amazing tool, the Global Information Network, to support you to get your thinking right, to build success, to focus on the things that you want in your life so that you can be an example for others. NeoThink is another set of amazing tools. TechnoTutor is another set of amazing tools. Those are things you can check out. That's not the point of this video. The point of the video is when we blame things outside of ourselves, when we blame, we are the cause of the separation in this world. We cannot blame other people. The very act of doing that is separation. Slowly but surely, in every moment, we can take more and more responsibility. And if everyone did that, as Troy McClain said on the stage at the leadership retreat in 2016 in Cancun, Mexico for GEN, he said, if everybody took 100% responsibility, we would have an accountable world. This world could change and become heaven on earth. But it's not going to become heaven on earth if everybody is just following the leader, because that's slavery. There can't be slaves in heaven. Heaven is self-responsible, self-willed equals as individuals who are taking responsibility for their lives and giving the best of themselves so that they can receive the best from others. That's the way this world's going to become heaven. So just a perspective to consider, maybe a heavy topic for a Monday, but why not start off with thinking about this? Because hey, the more you take responsibility for your lives, what I've found is your life becomes more and more amazing every day. There's still challenges, but you start to learn and see that those challenges are actually there as opportunities for you to grow, so you welcome them, right? There's really no reason to feel bad. If you're feeling bad, it's because you're focused on what you don't want, which means you're creating more of it. So you might as well shift focus on what you do want and feel good and enjoy life, even though there's going to be challenges. Enjoy making a difference. Enjoy becoming responsible for your life. Why not? That's what life should be about. Everybody should have a good life, right? And the more and more we set that example for others, and we change systems to stop impulsing other people to emulate behaviors and belief systems that are not helping them, the more we take responsibility for those things, the more it'll support other people to do the same, and we're going to have a much better world. So have a great Monday. Assuming this video gets uploaded on a Monday. If not, whatever day it is, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.